Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Rogue ST Woods and Irons from Callaway.
We are delighted now to welcome in the defending champion of the Honda Classic, Matt Jones. Matt, first of all, thank you for taking the time for us today. I'm curious what the reaction is now the day after to everything that had to have been dominated by the statement of Phil Mickelson yesterday.
Phil's made a couple of statements the last week or so. It's been a hot topic in the locker room and on the PGA Tour for a while now with the Saudi League, and I've had no conversations or any type of discussions with them. So it's all new to me. That's what's going on, and I really have no idea about the Saudi League or anything.
Hi, Matt. Jaime Diaz. Can you tell us about your impressions of the mandatory meeting that took place last night?
It was Jay Monahan always does a great job at the meetings. He discussed the players, if they had intentions of joining the Saudi League, what their punishment would be, or what the actions that the tour would take for anyone that did join the league or take money from the league. And then we discussed multiple other topics on the that were on the agenda that affects the players and affects the PGA Tour.
So, Matt, from that meeting that he had, and you were talking about what you just phrased as punishment if players were to join the Saudi League. Can you kind of encapsulate that for us, what he said would happen?
I'm pretty sure we all know they've discussed it in the past, that it was referring to being banned from the PGA Tour. He's said that multiple times. I'm sure you guys have heard that multiple times. Mm-hmm. That's really the main thing that I got out of it, that if you did sign or join or take money from them, that you would be banned, or that's their plan was to ban players from the PGA Tour.
Okay, so that is consistent. Now, Matt, we know that winning at any level is hard. Winning on the PGA Tour is very hard. Winning at PGA National can be brutal. How much is winning there about having all of the elements of your game working for that week in perfect harmony? You have to be able to control your ball flight, your shape at this golf course. As you know, it always blows here. It's always windy, and there's trouble on every hole out here, it seems like. So you've got to be willing to turn a bogey or turn a double bogey into a bogey. Just play safe sometimes, hit it, miss a green, and just get it up and down, and not try and go for the hero shot, especially on this golf course.
Matt, last year you opened at the Honda Classic with a course record tying 9 under par 61 in pretty tough winds that gave you a quick 3-stroke lead and left the other players in the field kind of awestruck. Then this year you go 62-61 at the Century TOC at Kapalua to set the PGA Tour record of 23 under par for 36 holes on your way to finishing third. We know you have a tremendous short game, but how would you explain this particular ability you have to get extremely hot?
Kapalua was just one of those rounds, or those weekends where I was just giving myself that many opportunities. And then on the back nine, both days, I finally made some putts and chipped in, hold a wedge. Last year at Honda, it was just one of those rounds where my ball striking was phenomenal. I hit it close on a lot of holes, and then I made probably 2 30-footers. And at the end of the day, I looked up and it was 61. And it was probably the best round of my career, considering the conditions and the golf course you're on.
Speaking of wins, as an Australian, how much is where you are from and the ability to deal with strong winds, particularly crosswinds, in addition to bunker play, an asset at this golf course?
I think that's huge. I think that's why you see Adams done well here in the past. Not like in Kapalua, wind is typical out there in Hawaii. I think Australians have a tendency to love playing in the tougher, harder conditions, and then you can rely on your short game a lot more, which is probably the best part of my golf game.
Matt, you get a lot of compliments for how quickly you play. After stepping into the ball, you hit it within 4 seconds with absolutely no waggle or other muss or fuss. Has that always been natural to you, or is it something that you developed? And how does it help you, or what does Gary Barter, your teacher since you were a teenager in Australia, say about it?
It's something I've always done. I've always been a fast player. I definitely don't waggle. I don't swing while I'm over the ball, but I have multiple swings behind the ball before I hit a shot, just to get a feeling or a sensation in my body that I want to take into the shot I'm trying to hit. And just like Trevino says, always moving, always having motion. If I stand over a ball and I'm there for a long time, I feel like I'm stuck in the mud or stuck in cement. I'd always prefer to be moving and feeling like I'm walking into a shot when I'm hitting a golf ball.
Well, Matt, it is a place that you have already had success. We hope the vibes are good for you this week. We wish you the very best, and we thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks very much for having me.